Hi, my name is Megan Griffith, co-author of the Recovering from Mental Illness blog here on HealthyPlace, and today I want to talk about making a postpartum depression support plan. So I know it can feel a little pessimistic to plan on having postpartum depression, but for many of us, it's just a reality that we're going to have to experience. So I think the best way to combat that is to accept it, not freak out or panic, and prepare. So I think there are three key steps to making a good postpartum depression support plan. First is knowing what your needs are. Second is writing those needs down. And third is actually asking for help fulfilling those needs. So first, knowing what your needs are. This is going to be different for everybody, and it's to a certain extent impossible to predict, especially if this is your first pregnancy or if you haven't had postpartum depression in the past, but you're worried you're going to have it now. You may not be able to predict everything you're going to need, and that's okay. But if you've had a history with depression, you can sort of predict what some of your issues are going to be, and you can look back and say, it would have been really helpful if I'd had XYZ. So for me, for instance, I know in my depressive episodes, I tend to really struggle with keeping up the house or even just keeping up my own personal hygiene, which then, makes me feel gross and ashamed because nobody likes feeling dirty. That's not a good sensation, right? And looking back, I can say, it would have been really helpful if I had someone who could help me get those things done, if they could have helped encourage me to shower or helped me do the dishes, stuff like that. And I figure, a newborn baby is probably going to make that even more difficult. So that's one of the needs that I know that I have, sort of house care and baby care so that I have time to take care of me. So once you've identified some of the needs that you have, write them down. I say this because of a couple things. First of all, I don't know about anyone else who's pregnant, but pregnancy brain has been destroying me recently. I cannot remember the words for anything. I forget things as I'm saying them. It's been a real problem. I'm already very scatterbrained, and the pregnancy hormones are not doing me any favors. So if you have an idea in your head of what you're going to need, it's important to write it down simply so that you don't forget. But also, I have written down some of my postpartum depression needs because I plan on giving out a typed up version of my needs and stuff to people who agree to be part of my support group, which is part of the third step in all of this, asking for help. And it's really hard to articulate your needs when you're in a depressive episode, at least for me. So it can be really nice to have something prepped ahead of time. That way you can just be like, here, these are the issues I deal with. This is what I'm going to need your help with. So then once you've got everything written down, you move on to step 3, which is asking for help. So asking for help with depression, so asking people to come over and watch your baby or clean your house can feel a little intimidating and embarrassing, and some of us avoid it, but at the end of the day, if it keeps you and your baby healthy, people want to help. They want to be there for you, and honestly, they get baby snuggles out of it. They're going to be okay. People want to help, so don't be afraid to just ask. That's honestly what I've been doing. I've been going to different friends and family members and saying, look, this is what I'm going to need out of my support group. It's going to be more than just me venting. I'm going to need actual help from you. Can you commit to that? And if the answer is no, it's okay. Make sure they have an out. You don't want to guilt anyone into it, but odds are lots of people are going to be very willing to help you. So those are my tips for making a postpartum depression support plan, which is something I think every pregnant woman should have in place, especially if you have a history of mental health issues like I do. This is my first pregnancy, so I have no idea if being prepared for this sort of stuff is going to help or not. Maybe it won't make any difference and I'll still be just as depressed, but at least I'll have resources and I'll have people who are there for me. And I think that always makes a difference. So for more mental health information, check out the rest of the Recovering from Mental Illness blog, and I hope that these tips could be helpful.